Okay, so here it is, a quarter after, and I just bought a 1K. I have $223.62 in this account. And leverage is 500 to 1, I suspect. And we are just going to trade this system. So that trade I just did there was because it's quarter after. And we're currently down. So I'm trying to build a long position. Next ticket I'm going to put in is going to be, so the fear of missing out is minimalized by the fact that once you pull the trigger on this trade, you are in the market. It's a $1,000 position. Okay, so I'm going to buy one more with a very tight stop. It looks like I'm about to pile into this. That's a 7-pip stop to make 9. Here's a 7 to make 7, and I'm going to start to come in with the 5-pip stops. I'm going to go 5 to make 9. Looks like we have to chase a little bit here. Get a few K going. Okay, so it's going to scale out, and without blowing up the account, so my take profits are like right there. Like I'll be getting out very soon. I'm going to make the stops a brighter color in the take profits. So that's just naturally going to be let's make this as my exits, my stops. So here we have a soft stop and a spread out take profit into the void. Pretty conservative. Hard time blowing up the account. I think we could make about $10 here. So, plenty of good trades today on the 15-minute chart if you're willing to wait for the market to come back to a previous top. So you take a top like this, where here's a big major so-called pivot where you have a time support, double top, double bottom that gets annihilated. It's a classic, right? So here we got pressure building on the top here. Stairway to hell. And still got a nice slot down here. If it crushes down, if they took me out of these tickets, I could buy more. So if I cover my next entry and overlap that on the entry, so if I decide to put in this 12-hour script, now this is going to be really deep, and it's only 3 tickets, so it's very, very low risk dollar-wise. But of course, should they take out that scalp that I'm in and smashes down, it could end up taking the account back to the same amount you lost on the scalp. So if you swing and you scalp, then you can have, you can trade the dead cat bounce if you're going to go long, and you can also accumulate a giant area when the market's kind of dying out, and it's going to become obvious at some point that it's not going down anymore and you're already in because you don't have a fear of missing out, or you don't have any fear of trading, I suppose. But yeah, the idea that you have a signal system that says, hey, buy, come and buy, I can't imagine that's not going to get a better price for a larger ticket. So if you wanted to put orders in 5 pips apart that were 10Ks, that's still a pretty hefty trade. And, it's going to be, you might want to have a soft stop, because who wants to tell the market where it should stop? That's something you just don't want to be picking, Like the market's going to, if it keeps going down. So the euro's been to 11.16, which is really rock bottom. That was Friday. So I bought into Friday, as you can imagine, on the big meltdown on the 4-hour. And I got out when we got around 60. Because that's the obvious exit, right? So here was the big Brexit, or the, I guess, the freedom situation. Above here, everybody sold, right? But the people that were to martingale into that based on a area like here that goes back right above the dailies. So this is the window that we all had to get out on. I don't think you get a choice here if you're going to have a logical approach to your entry. If you look at this top, this is where you'd have to really have loaded the wagon more than you would have anywhere else on the chart, because it's there's a deep price there. Actually never made it above the round number, but the slot above here was where I had to get out, so I dumped out of everything in here. It took about 8 minutes to get out. And I really wish it would have taken out, I mean, I said, it's just, you're just pushing it too hard. You cannot expect there not to be sellers above this double top on the daily. It's asking too much. And so blue line's covering up the wick there, but it went there. So that's one and done. Now you have the trend traders supposedly coming in on this supposed top that should become a bottom, consolidation, flag, pennant, ascending triangle, descending triangle, eagle's nest, consolidation, maybe one more price pulse. Maybe we could go smashing into the 13 level. There's plenty of space up there. So this stairway here would be amazing, but this is a no-brainer to sell in this slot, right? That's a no-brainer entry. Now, you may dip into that window 5 times after the first dip, so you'd still have to reload all those tickets. Once that scheme's been cashed out, it doesn't mean it can't go revisit this this pocket here or come back to here. So I'm a buyer all the way down typically. Now they might stop me out, but then I'm going to put in a deeper bank that looks like this. And on this chart, you would say, oh, well, I could buy there for the next month. Yeah, of course, that's a daily chart. I mean, there's plenty of buyers down here. And even I would say starting here. It's all valid buying territory, but putting a buy limit down here that lasts one day, kind of ridiculous. You got to be running so tight to the market here that you're literally buying. And this is where you have to adjust your trade plan as need be, because now you could be buying $1 million position in a 20 pip slot. Here you could buy like one standard lot all the way down, right? If you put in 1Ks, here's a not even that. You have to put 10Ks to get a standard lot out of that, right? But every pip is so that's a standard lot, and you put a master stop, and it's like, okay, well, some of those tickets have to be a winner in some degree. All it has to do is go up like 5 pips, and you're going to say, yeah, the first one you bought at the market, and you streamed them 10 pips apart all the way down to the bottom of the world. Okay, so we're down $1.11 here. I'm not really crazy about this. Timing's a little off today. 5 minutes before and after the bottom of the hour. So if you notice, at about 5 minutes after the bottom of the hour, somebody comes in a direction clean. There's a clean move always there, because I think the 5 minute guys are getting in, and the half hour guys the candle has closed on the half hour, so people act, or robots act. And there is this kind of panic. So the short squeeze, when the market goes ripping back up after going down, 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 it's pretty violent. And it really is backing up on people. It's like running in backwards, you know. Okay, so I think we're going to make some money here. I'm going to buy a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to get in here and try to load the wagon, so to speak, just for the scalps. Okay, so Monday, perfect end of day here. It's kind of like the trend trade. Trend traders are coming in now on the 4 hour on a daily. I mean, that's an obvious pivot, and it's like I don't know if we could take the stairway out. Maybe we can. I don't know. So we built up this trailing stop thing, and it's getting a little bit like, eesh, but that is the daily chart. So don't forget the dailies. If you were sold up here and you were riding this down, you would you'd be so very into this trade. Okay, so you would have done a trailing stop, and then eventually, even here, you're still running that trailing. You're protecting, the bears are protecting their short with a clean money management tool, and then that becomes the ultimate entry for a mechanical trading system that just starts to buy new highs. Simple as that. Into the floor, structurally speaking, you know, but you could see that, but maybe so the extreme is the big vacuum underneath anything under here. So buying this big pullback was like, oh yeah, they just kind of took out this low, and this is a closing hard down, where this is kind of like, oh, a little trend thing going on there, and maybe the top, I'm ready to go smashing down through all this shit. But all we got to do is challenge this. We only have 40 pips to the border. This would be the ultimate thing to take this out. You can make an argument for, like, this is your channel. You're looking for this to culminate here. You know, you can make all sorts of arguments endlessly. Let me see if I can get this. So I'm going to buy here at the market. Again, I got all these damn dots all over the screen now. Okay, so those are all the entry window boxes. Okay, so we're just going to bum rush this thing. Yeah, so this is really pushing the account, I suppose. $55 a margin, and I guess we're kind of hammering it here a little bit. So we're waiting for this to make a run here. And we got the 2.5 minute warning. Minute and a half warning. So I suspect to see drama here in the half hour. I'm going to go from the daily to the half hour. Let's take a peek in this maddening walk down here. Okay, so that's about all I can do. So I'm buying this walk down. In the 1 hour, it's nice and clean. Nice clean price pulse. 3 hours up. 4 hours walk back. Kind of stop hunted the guys that have stops here. And they kind of, but that was unresolved pricing there, I think. Had to kind of go nick that wick. People won't take it. They want to ride it to here. They'll be getting out, I'm sure, here on something. And then, of course, the big target tonight is to go raping this hole right there. We take that out. So even if it makes it to here, that's not a bad trade. Certainly, I'm still a buyer all the way down here, I would say. And here's where you really get in pretty heavy. And so if that was the case and there was enough money in the account, I'd probably, like I say, put these limits in. I think I'm going to come in at for half an hour, 4 pips away. So this looks like a great trade. That's pretty low risk. A half an hour spike down there. At this time of night, I'd say that should be about a 4-hour script or something. So like the 4 hours, let's see. Maybe any 4 hours in here. Yeah, I got the singles. So here's the thing, if you really don't want to blow up the account, I've got the actual price, 1Ks here. So these single drops are pretty crazy. Here you would say, let's look for the 4-hour 5 pips deep. So that's pretty aggressive right there. 20 pips stop to make 40 pips, a 1K, and then another, looking for only 4 hours or better. So here, eight pips deep for 4 hours. That's a great trade. And so they're all great. It's just a whole, like here's 8 hours, 9 pips deep. Pretty tough to blow up the account this way. How about 12 hours, 12 pips? This is a pip an hour, right? Here, another 13 pips deep, 12 hours, all day long. 20 pips deep all day long. That's always a good trade. That is the best trade, bar none. For most circumstances, 40 pips deep all day long, a 1K with 1,000 pips stop. Fear of getting stopped out. So let's see. Okay, so we're in. We're only down 40 cents. We need to survive the 5-minute window after the bottom of the hour now. Let's go see what the 5-minute guys are thinking. Oh boy. So they're struggling. These 5-minute traders are just, okay, so they figure this is the deal, is that this is as cheap as it's going to get. Now we got to go after this, or it's going to just keep tanking. Here was the best trade earlier, was this plunge. So if you got in on that, you could have just either thrown the tickets out there or just be like, buy. I mean, if you think you should have bought more here, you could have bought that and just dumped the whole thing here. I mean, that was like a huge scream back to the last known support. Okay, now we're just dripping back down. So I got buy limits here. I got my stops in down there too. So I should be buying it if it goes down. Always looking for one last smash. So if that's the case, I'm going to put in these 3 pip deep ones that last 15 minutes. So there's this is how I'd run this. Pretty tight, 10 pip stops. 3 pips deep. 15 minutes. So here, let's get 4 pips deep. 5. And then I'm going to sit with my finger on the buy market orders and start buying with a wide stop every time it's down. Okay, 50 seconds left. So I'm preparing for a spike down here, hoping they fill me. I think I got just enough margin left to get in. So 30 seconds. So that's quite the psychotic little move there, because the half hour has finished. So the view of the half hour chart is like, you have to ask yourself, do you really think this is going to go down again? I guess, right? The trend traders think it is. And the trend traders on the half hour say, this is a bottom that just became a top, and they're selling there, right? And their target is going to be anything below here. But this is the trap. This is where deep discount prices, and we keep nailing that. We could still nail that. We could still come down deeper and fill these buy limits and then come back. Okay, so I'm down $4, and I'd have my finger on the trigger, I could get a better price right now than I got earlier. So most of what I just bought there is a little overpriced. Okay, so I'm going to put in some market orders now. I go very cheap, 5 pip stop. Spread's not too bad right now. Pretty tight. There's commissions on here though. Here's some greedy targets, 55 pips. I just got to have a couple of those in there. But for the most part, I want to be able to scalp and pay for the big swing. Make something here. It's not too much, too difficult. So you can make these as tight as you want. I suppose this is the break even. Market order 7 pips to make 7 pips. Okay, so that's about for about $80 a margin. Wait for the market to come back. Reject this sell-off zone, the stop entry for the big trap the 4-hour traders on this entry. So kind of like just nick this 4-hour wick here. So 4 hours in like a perfect volatility triangle right now. Really getting very quiet. So the last price pulse is up, and this is the delta. We're coming into this it's a little tighter stairway here, but almost the same. Really got to close above that, but I'm saying I would stay in the trade if it closes above that. I think this is the middle of this triangle right now. So you kind of got to make a step on the half hour. We got to get above. It's easier to see in the 1 hour chart, I think. So we have to we have to reject this bottom here. Otherwise, this is where people are supposed to sell, right? This bottom becomes a top. If you just only to make it to here, then it's going to collapse. Or is it going up and every time it comes down, people buy here? Of course, this was the big dump. That's that Brexit thing, as if that mattered. Prices are all over the place. It just doesn't matter. We got to trap here, and then it's got to come after this. And cut this stuff out, take my profits, or it's going to keep melting into this deep spot. So here the stairway shows up on the daily. It does not show. I mean, the 1 hour doesn't show up on the other time frames. The 1 hour is, it's a little bit more work, I suppose. The 4 hour is definitely the obvious delta situation. The daily looks great if you're a trend trader. I think it's the best setup on the planet. Like you have this top and kind of just hold there, and then you expect like a measured move, psychosis move here. They're your classic, like, holy shit, because once it takes this and then it's going to go after this thing, and then right above here is where you got to get out. Like anything above this, people were like, yeah, we're getting out. And all the scalpers were just making their 20 pips off of that. Okay, so we're riding this thing out. We're only down 27 cents. It's going to be all right. So here we go. I'm going to add to it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to chase a little bit. So I'm going to go for all different exits. A couple greedy ones. So maybe in 2 hours we could move 10 pips. This is what we're hoping. Okay, so we're just trying to make a few bucks here. All right, 47 cents. Look at that. I told you. So, but that 5 minute, those 5 minute traders, wow. So, how are they doing? Let's check in on the 5 minute traders. Are they going to go after this supposed structure? Maybe the 15 minute traders are the ones to look at. So here is the current sell for the 15 minute traders bottom becoming a top. Will that actually happen? Is that even possible with all this pressure here on all these notches? And of course, here's easy pickings. If you come down here and then, but a lot of people are going to buy here and trade it back to this for the obvious high probability trade. Of course, in the end, if you're a trend trader, then you don't really care. You're just kind of like accumulating during consolidations, and you're looking at a larger time frame for your target. But the scalpers are interested in the easy money, I think. Here, this would be your easy money window. Is you're going to buy just below here, and you probably cashed out already, or you're still holding on for that, or you had a trailing sell stop and you just got low volatility. This is where the robot would get in naturally in a low volatility breakout system and just make money on this. Don't move. That's probably not a move that you would want to place orders in. I know I wouldn't. I don't know. I guess if I'm a bear, I'm selling every time it goes up at the market. But I don't think I'm going to put a sell stop here. I'm probably just going to be like, that's a bullshit move. I'm selling. So big fast moves are usually bullshit, So this is like, oh yeah, it's down. Wow, look at that. This is such a that had really worked to go up, and then just the pressure's off. And look at this amazing comeback. Of course, here's a failure. People just sell this double top, and then it just keeps ripping. Of course, it had to kind of clean. This was the last known void left behind. This trying to clean up. But look at this thing. Come on. It's out of control. I think the euro's pissed off. It's been going down for... Yeah, they're happy Brexit's over. Probably make the euro go up, fundamentally speaking. And it's the whole idea of having to maintain all that banking shit, all that paper. But who knows? Who knows how this stuff's constructed? The overflows and all that stuff. I suppose you can see it here. That's not too surprising, those price action. Yeah, the euro looks like it's had it. It's been abused. Look at this the weekly chart or the monthly chart. So here's the big contention if you're into the long time frame. Can you really think that the sellers are going to be able to hold this price on the monthly euro dollar based on bottoms becoming tops, right? Because the trend traders are supposed to be selling here, They did so well there. Like an impeachment attempt. Good luck, right? Here. So this is a real problem. All this stairway. This problem has been solved. They solved that problem. In fact, they solved this problem and this one and this one. This was a great place to get in for this psycho move. Nice, clean, void action. Instead of price action, so it's void action trading. It's all about where the market hasn't been. 50-minute traders are on it. Okay, let's get a psycho move, and just this whole week will be a bullish week in the euro. First, you got to take out yesterday's high. Actually, you got to take out the high from like 4 hours ago. Here's the issue. You got to take out this. We can cash out on something here. We'll cash out. I already got my take profits there. And these are my greedy exits up here. That's the way it looks to me. And of course, looking down the road here, on the monthly, it is the end of the month, end of the year. It could just be utter, the euro just take off into start chasing down those stairs, stairway to hell. So that monthly is pretty astounding. Got to redraw that. Okay, so here is the astounding structure problems for the bears on the euro. Is how are they going to keep this thing under this? If you're short right now, you got to be kidding, right? It's got to keep going down. So we're sitting right at the line of scrimmage here, I'd say. So it's not far away. It's 20 pips away to this. And the trend traders are already drawing their first trend line here. They're like, oh yeah, that thing's going to go up. Kind of can't wait to get there. So I wonder where the end of the year target could be. I suppose it's going to be maybe just right through here. This would be the monster pivot on the 100 yard line here. So 100 pip psycho move into the end of the year maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. If it just goes up 20 pips, I'm good with that. Yeah, we all want to make 80 pips, but maybe 20. First price pulse, and then maybe by the end of the week, it could be up 80 pips or something. Yeah, it's countdown. 2 weeks left in the year. People got to wrap up their positions. You know, those hedge fund people, they just pull the trigger at the end of the year, so these psycho moves at the end of the year. People are like, what's going on? People are just like, yeah, well, I'll take that trade off. So, down 178 right now. That's not too good. So I kind of maxed out the account. I'm just gonna say it's $100 a margin. We've only got 121 free, but okay. So this is about all we can do to the account. You know, now we just have to wait. I think we maxed it out. But the question is, if you had 10 grand in there, would you use $500 a margin? And would you maybe trade with even less than this and then just have a lot of dry powder and go trade another currency? So I was doing that. I was trading the pound and the euro at the same time. The pound, I must say, my scripts really aren't designed for the pound most of the time because, if the euro sells off 100 pips and it's such a gentle sell-off that it's kind of easy to scale into it, where the pound, I would say, yeah, if you had put your orders about 20 pips apart and put a big fat stop on them and just give the market some room to go nuts. Because it really is nutty. And lately, because of the void that it's filling on the top side, you kind of had to imagine that was going to be brutal. Brutal territory. And so I think that maybe it's still got room to go on the top side, just like the euro. But at the end of the year, people are going to come back to trading, and whatever price it is, I mean, it's not as frightening as the end of the year. Because when nobody's in the market, it can move really extreme. Just look at the end of last year. People are all wondering what's going on there. There's just barely anybody trading it. And the people that are trading it are apparently can't find somebody on the other side of the trade. So just hard. Like Nixon's in office. Price freeze, or people are in line. They're in line to buy the euro, to click their mouse. It's like a gas line. Rent control. Spread control. That's it, the government. Oh, people are complaining. Yeah, who was it? I wasn't complaining. I can't believe they're letting me hedge the market. It's terrible. I mean, I don't know what to do. I can't make up my mind what to go long or short, and they're giving me rope to hang myself. Thank God they outlawed that hedging. I couldn't pay attention to anything I was doing. Shit, Milton and I we had to human traffic our kids just to pay for the margin calls. It's awful. Yeah, so it's a real delta here on the 4 hour. I want to see what the jury says. The jury's out right now. The jury's just about to come in on the tick chart. Top of the hour's coming. Trading is most boringest. Welcome to boring trading. But I think it's cheaper to get in here when it's quiet before the drama kicks in. So I'm looking for the mini black swan, so to speak, here. But unlike the robot that I was testing, this is all just very... We're looking at the chart, we're thinking what could happen, what's possible, what's impossible. Okay, I'm only down at $1.33, so... It's not the end of the world, people. It's just a trade. Do you have a signal service? Maybe you should start one. Yeah, I say buy the euro. We put a 150 pip stop on it. And then the other part of the signal is you're going to put an order limit 50 pips deep. That's going to have a 100 pip stop. And then you're going to put another one 20 pips deep, another one 85 pips deep. And that's it. That's the trade. And the other one's insurance policies, right? In case you're wrong about your first entry, or you could try to scalp it with an 8 pip stop and just trade really heavy. That's the other extreme. Okay, so it looks like we made it through the threshold here. 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Here comes the 1 hour traders, the 5 minute traders, 1 minute charts. Everybody's going to update. It's going to be a big deal. Got that clean double bottom going on the 1 hour right now. Kind of like too good to be true, but that's how it is sometimes. It's pretty stupid. Earlier I was thinking, anybody see a Head and Shoulders here? Shoulder, head, shoulder. I was thinking, wow, I wonder if there's going to be a Head and Shoulders top. Like they're going to crush me. Because I must say I'm in pretty big position. And I'm thinking, okay. Let's hope not. And of course, when we couldn't get anything done here to the downside earlier, I couldn't really go after that and go nuts. I thought, well, okay, let this stack up, this pressure stack up, and if we can make it to here, we'll have made X. Not a ton of money, but we could build this account up. So we could take this account from 223 up to $500. I think if I was up $200 here, I think in the next 2 hours, I'd say that's pretty good. And I could just go, okay, we'll go flat, come back in with limits, and come. Now, if it's real money, of course, you're going to come back in very lightly with limits only now, because now you can afford to have the market come to you. And you can put in 10 limits. But it's when you're starting out, you kind of have to trade the market a little bit, I think. I guess you can wait for it to come to you. It just seems like it's more fun to kind of trade the market and think, oh, yeah, right here, let's get in here, and then just scalp out and then come back in and build it like I just made $15, come back in, or $150 or 16,000. Whatever that number is that you don't mind, come back and forth, get that. This thing got a stock, this thing's fucked up. I mean, if you think something's going to happen, you're really good at it. You're like, oh yeah, it looks like a pullback to me. As you scale into it, or you just buy it and wait, you get a feel for that. But I don't know if you can transfer it over to other instruments that trade really harshly, and especially if you're trading gold with the scripts, you kind of have to rewrite them. I think it's like 2 decimal points over, and that could screw you up. It'd be a lot to keep track of, mathematically speaking. Okay, so euro versus the yen also. I'm going to put up my line chart. Get this disturbing binary bar thing. It's kind of disturbing to me because it just doesn't give me that nice smooth. Oh, see, this is a little bit better, but still terrible here. I'm putting in my zoom out one notch. Okay, so this is that's kind of fucked up here. I got a better one. The line, I think this is it. Okay, there you go. 100 pips is the big number. Okay, so that's the daily. Pretty brutal here. And look at this thing banging on the top. Look at that yen. It's unbelievable. I think the dollar is going to crush the yen there. Well, there'll be plenty of places to sell it, obviously. But I think in the long run, it could be a problem for the yen. I know it's going down here, but wow. I think this hole is bigger. So this hole is a big deal, but this one I think has way more, like this is a bigger area than this. This is the Texas trade. This is the Utah entry. Now here's Tennessee down here. So now this is the, I'm looking at that as being when they close below there. So that's just like what I'm expecting to happen in the euro. Is that to me that's the ultimate entry, that this is supposed to be support, and when it takes it out and it comes back and then it rifles through it, it's like, wow. That's to me the obvious trade, the auction trade, where you go underneath and then no sellers come in and it's complete engulf of that price because people are like, wow, that's not going to work. Like this never becomes the sell point. It does for that one day. It hesitates and then just crushes up. So had you bought down here and like you get to here and you're like, oh no, it's still got a little bit left. Or you do cash out here. And the sellers do come in for a little bit, but they just can't pull it down and start coming after that. And this is all stacking up against that. So the euro crushes the yen. The dollar crushes the yen. The yen's really in trouble. So I don't know if it's that China stuff or those embargoes or whatever. So I don't, you could say that the tariffs are making this chart look like this, I suppose, right? The right amount of drugs, anything's possible. Better trading through chemistry. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating end of the year, and then of course, as Trump just piles into the bull in the China shop, just wipes shit out, and these Brexit people too. Pretty funny, just funny to watch the whole thing collapse. Of course, you had to know it was going to happen. It's like it's like a Pinto. The gas tank explodes. The car. It's like a Ford Pinto. Yeah, what's the story here with the pound? So here was the big psycho plunge into that window. Like, man, people selling into that. Look at this pullback. Wow, what a buy here. See, I missed that entry, but see, this is a whole different story. For me, I'd have to use my swing scripts from the euro. And of course, we never quite make it back to this top, but boy, on the way there, this is a healthy, I would be out of that trade already. Some of the tickets would have to be out of that. Maybe the ones would take profits here and stop losses here. No, but here, you're going to buy that plunge. So this is an obvious place to put your tickets today if you're trading the pound. On the 4-hour chart, of course, on the 1-hour chart, you can see that you're only up about 20 pips right now. You would have had to trade this one earlier, right? This is the entry that made a lot of money. This is the bottom that it rejected. So yeah, the sellers come in there and they just kind of waffle. They can't really get it done, and then you get the engulf back to here. Plus you get the triple bottom, keep retesting, trapped underneath this wick. Then we come ripping back up into Asia. Then London opens to come down. People are buying this support for a dead cat bounce. They're buying that. They're selling along this. Every time it goes up fast, it's kind of a fake move, sell, fake move, sell. Seller's going to come in here. I wonder. Okay, so my euro's going up. I'm going to chase a little bit more. I'm going to try to make 50 pips here. Because I'm not going to chase on the demo. But I'm up 47 cents, goddammit. Okay, so 5 minutes after the top of the hour. Now we just have to ride this price pulse. And I'm going to go to the 1-hour chart. We've updated the 1-hour chart. And the British pound's a good buy too, but I'm not going to be able to buy the British pound. I think I missed my entry here, which would have been to put orders below the low of 2 days ago. And it's not some rule like 1 day or 2 day, because here I would have bought here. I guarantee you that I would be long and underwater right now, and these would be swing trades. And I would buy more below here for the scalp to here. So I'd already scalp out, and I'd have something to hold on to in case we go this way. And then every hour it's down, I'm going to buy, like I'm in Canada. So that would be my system. Let's see, I'm going to roll with that. Okay, so I'm buying with very tight stops right now. 4 pips and shit like that. Okay, I'm looking for a big screaming move. This is 1 minute. What's that? 30 seconds before the 5 minutes after the top of the hour. It's a big deal. So go to the 5-minute chart. Let's see what the 5-minute traders have decided. And they're into the 40s already. They've already said, you know what? That is not a breakout. Fuck you. That is not a breakout. Or as the guys at No Nonsense would say, the fuck you bar. So that is the engulf. That is where people are like, wait a minute. Because no nonsense. Some no nonsense guy might have sold here at the end of the day. These guys are debating whether it was okay to sell a half hour before the end of the day. And, well, it's not how no nonsense does it. And then the guy that kicked me out for going off topic went off topic about, well, according to the No Nonsense Bible on page 58, Isaiah No Nonsense or whatever. I'm gonna cite you the actual scripture line. So you're not supposed to do this before that. So I think a lot of people are going to get out here, take their few pips and run. That's the British pound. Here's a cute little trend trade, just like we're seeing on the larger time frames. This top becomes a bottom. People buy that. They make some pips. Let's say take your money and run on the 5 minute there. Buying below here. A nice ratio. You have a stop here. You make 40 pips with a 20 pip stop. British pound. It's a frisky one. You got to really be careful. If you're used to the calm, well-mannered euro dollar that's nice and smooth, and gold looks like it's getting ready to pounce north. It's all pissed off. How about that euro versus pound? I got that ridiculous moving average on here. Look how you can get right here on the moving average. There you go. That's nice. All the way back to the target there. So you had a chance to buy this pullback. Just keep buying as it goes down. Or put a limit grid in there and just play it. You're playing into this floor. Or the second time there. So the question is this going to be able to weasel above? I think it is. I think the euro is going to be very much coming back after the pound now. So I think it's over for the... I think they trap people on this 4-hour chart. It's daily. So are the sellers really going to hold this 100-yard line here? Is this bottom is this going to become a top? Do you trust this 20 EMA? You going to sell here now? Good luck with that. This thing's pissed off as can be. Look at the punishment on this. If you don't think these markets get angry, then you don't know nothing. Look at this thing. It's really going to keep going down that channel? Really? Okay. Okay, Jethro, like it went down this one? Yeah, like it went down this one, and I sold this one, and I sold this. What are you talking about? You don't know anything, man. When it went above my baseline, it bought right here. That's what they should be doing, actually. There's no nonsense. People should just be going, dude, goes below here, I sell. Goes above there, I buy. No, ain't no fucking ATR. We ain't got no fucking check the news. Oh, check the horoscopes. Yeah, don't forget your horoscope, man. Yeah, I think it's done tanking. The pound's had it now. Now that it Brexits, everybody's going to Brexit the pound. I don't know. I didn't look at the long-term picture of the pound here. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, so we're trapped in the middle of this big range here. But yeah, I do look like the top. We got some area up there to go up. Yeah, I think that's what the pound's about. Kind of crawling north there. Wow. What a stampede. Wow, man, that thing was pissed off too. I think the anger came from this big giant, like, wow, this just keeps going. People are like, yeah, look how brutal this move is. Whew. I don't think people are prepared for that, man. There's no algo to smooth that shit out. Then this. Wow. Good Lord. That thing's been through hell and back. Nobody cares. Look at this. 1 year back. Just constant nonsense. Look how jagged this is here. But once again, I think this is the floor. We bang here and it's like, oh, nobody's going to take it down here, so I have to go carve out this hole. And man, does that thing get it done. big time sellers up here. Enough to grab it, pull it all the way back, grab that. So yeah, I'm gonna buy here though. If I had another like an account dedicated to the pound and all these giant moves, yeah, I'd just put in sells there. I mean buys in that. Let me just buy that move. Okay, let's do or die moment here on the euro. Just teetering here on the 1 hour. Looks like the rally's over on the 15. Okay, so that was just 5-minute spike. I got to start thinking about buying on limits now. That's the next phase here. Now I should have some. I guess I'm just going to do for the singles. 15-minute. Now this will slow you down. 15-minute tickets, you know. You got to work hard to blow this up on 15-minute limits. You could blow them up on 4-hour limits because they're just hanging out there waiting to get filled. I mean, 5 pips away. You're really asking for it. You're asking for that thing to get filled, almost certainly. Okay, we're up $4. 5-minute traders. So, big smash move. Then 5 minutes after the top of the hour, we pull back. Now, this is the top. Has become a bottom from 10 after the hour. I'm going to update this candle here. And if we can make it above this, we can make it into this blue hole, then I might have enough. This vacuum has enough for us to cut us back above here. Take this out. And then we'll cash out. And maybe we'll make, I'm going to say $37 here. We should be at $37 when we get to here. Something like that. But I'm not going to get greedy. I'm not going to move my targets. I got scalps built in. Especially when the account's this obliterated. This account, they just kind of just let it go down to this $200. Gosh, we're up $5. I feel like getting out. That's a lot of money from where I come from. $5 is almost one beer. There's beer at a gentleman's establishment, one of those gentleman lounges. At that private dancer thing. Tina Turner comes out. Get that private dancer thing going on. All right, looks like a price pulse up. We got to clear this thing. We got to blow out this top. We got to destroy these. We got to squeeze the bears. Yeah, we got plenty of free ocean water up here to cut in. It's clear sailing north here. I think we've established this is going to go up. All right, a lot of people selling here. I think they're going to get the hell out on that double bottom from back here. I guarantee it. It's all right. So we could cash out of everything we're in also right here, if need be. Smashes to there. We don't think we're going to get the zigzag follow through. Here comes the 15-minute guys. They just got their update. 15-minute traders. Okay, so first sign of a trend is you can draw a line here Yeah, we kind of rejected this. The sellers are supposed to come in here and keep taking it down. So that was the fork on the road. Still got this as a early target. Actually, anything on the way up, honestly. If you don't mind cashing out along the way, instead of holding for the big giant target that's maybe 2 weeks out. So on the 4 hour, nothing fantastic. We do have that, we retested that doji. Double bottom on the 1 hour. We got to get to here by the time London opens for some kind of scalp. We got to get up in this. Otherwise, it's going to be buy this, or we get to here, and then I put my limits in here. So when London opens or whatever, maybe we come smashing down in. So I lay the tickets out there, maybe about 200K, and then just stack up stuff in here. But maybe we only come to here, so at that point, I'm gonna have to put in the orders 1 pip apart, and then start buying at the market. Every 5 minutes, it's down or something, because the urgency is going to happen at some point. It's about 6 hours away. But if in 6 hours we're screaming into new highs, then I'm definitely going to get out, because we're going to see a rollover, psycho backlash off the very tippy tops. We know there's sellers up there. They're wanting to get in at the amazing prices that could be there in the London Open. And they're temporary. They're insane. They're unfair. And people will get in there and go the other direction. So knowing that, that's typically where I'm going to get out. Try to get that nice, clean stop hunt the bulls, stop hunt the bears, and be done. Just trade the full edge from top to bottom. Otherwise, that's on the dailies. But otherwise, if you're on the 4 hour chart and you're like, okay, this is just a pullback. I'm already long from way down. I'm just buying on pullbacks because I'm not that heavy, which is another way to do it. So earlier tonight, I was going to, so on the pullback, buying into Friday, and it comes back up off the floor. I let it cash out. I stayed in the weekend, and when I probably got slippage against my profits, but I don't care. As soon as it opened up, gap opened a little bit, 5 pips. And so I took the exposure off the account, though. Then I thought, well, let's just hang. I'm going to move my targets up 30 pips and wait until we hit almost 60, and I'm going to go flat. So I go flat almost with a few K left behind, and then I come back with the limits all over again. So right here on this account, when this thing goes up, like I said, if we're up $37 when this thing can come after this one price up here, then that's it. Then it's it for that account, right? For that, because it's easier to come in with the limits now, very close to the market, and kind of scale back in, because there's no pressure at that point. And you're probably going to get filled if you put them 3 pips deep for 15 minutes and 3 pips deep for an hour, and on and on. So if we can make it to this by in 1 hour, you got to kind of make it to this guy here and beyond. Hopefully, we should be up about $30. That's what we're aiming at here. Trying to make $30. So I'm expecting a psycho move because 8:30 is coming. 15-minute traders are looking at this going, gosh, guys, I don't think this structure thing's working out. This bottom didn't become a top. Uh-oh. And, of course, the money management bots have the stops stacking up. They're going to fuel the buy, the retail flush, so to speak. They're going to feed into that, create more buying with their buy stops on their shorts. And that's what I'm looking at. And then, of course, this up here is the big promised land. It's happening finally. Yeah, there's enough actually woke people, I suppose, out there. Amazing. You didn't think it was possible, but you read the comments on YouTube. It's so people are so funny. They crack the funniest jokes. I mean, you gotta love it. People say about in videos, comments is just amazing. Okay, so we're waiting for that void on the top to fill tonight. It's very boring. Up $6. Let's go get a beer. Honey, we're up on this trade. You mind if we get a beer? I was asked my wife. I don't want her to get the wooden spoons out like she usually does. Yeah, she's a tough one. Some people say she's a battle axe, but I say, no, that's my wife you're talking about, son. How dare you? Greta No Funberg. I married Greta No Funberg. She's always whining about the climate. I'll give you something to climate about. Come here, honey. Let me show you something. Do you know what forex is? She calls 911. He's talking about forex. I don't even know what he's going to do next. I seen him over there on the forex. He calls it a platform. I think it's a torture bench. He's making me code MT4 with a shock collar on my neck. Man, this market is just itching to go up. Where's all the smart money? You're up against the smartest traders in the world. Do you realize what you're doing? That's a suggestion by Empowered Trading. Be humble. Okay, so I crawled to my computer on razor blades. I put the mouse on a trickle shock, random shock. What else can I do to prove how humble of a trader I am? What, have you eaten glass while trading? No, I haven't done that. Be humble. I'm pissed off. I'm anything but humble trader. I'm the angry scalper. Come on, damn it. This market should be up right now. What the fuck's going on with these smartest traders in the world? Well, they ain't trading now, are they? They all went home. They show up in London. Try to explain it to somebody. Well, when London opens, the market could move a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. You really got to plan for that. You got to have some very wide tickets in when you're trading the pound, I think. Especially when they're having an election. It's all dicey. Okay, we're just in the euro dollar because it's so many people in this trade. We're not the only people waiting for this thing to go up. So you should never feel alone trading. There's plenty of people on the long side of this. I'm sure there's people selling it, but it's not me. Not tonight. Oh man, what a stellar move though, huh? I like that 4-hour chart. That's the most insane lack of volatility. Something's got to give here. So the promised land is above here for the bulls. The holy land up here. we'll all be rich if we can ride to that, and then beyond. I'm expecting the whole year to be bullish. I think this is going to be the low for the euro. And when you look back on the monthly, you're going to go, oh, I think I see what's going on there. Like, this is just going to stampede north, and people are just not going to believe it. I feel like the euro's looking pretty good compared to the pound. Well, I mean, the stability factor, right? $111.40. So 112. They're only 12 cents above the dollar. So the pound is so expensive. So, yeah, this is the moment of truth, the bottom of the hour now. 5 minutes before the bottom of the hour, we just went up, made a new high. So, 5-minute traders have the ball. Oh, God, stop this. I don't know what's going on here. My computer's trying to it thinks I'm asking a goddamn question. Fuck you, computer. I got nothing to say to you. I can't believe I went up. Bill Gates is probably monitoring my calls. I'm up $9 on this trade. I'll let you in for a little bit, but then, yeah, you scalpers out there. So we just made a new high there. I'm up, was up $9 for a second there. I was really kind of excited about this. Trying to make my target 37.50. That's enough for beer and dessert. Go to the sushi bar. I think I'm going to die from some sushi poisoning. We could look into the 3-minute warning here. Let's make it 5 pips here by the time we get to 8:30 Eastern Standard. Then by 9:30 we should be like absolutely into. If it's not into here, like I'm gonna call the broker. If we don't make it to here, I'm gonna like, dude, you guys are. So I had this one broker. This is the broker actually. This broker here, when the news comes out or there's any kind of heavy trading, they're so behind the price. It's just unbelievable. So, good arbitrage broker. The server's god awful. It's kind of like living in the past looking at this. So I'm kind of cheating actually because they're still, even at this time of night, they're a little bit slow on the draw. Their tick chart looks a little weird, a little lagged. Take a peek at the tick chart here. Oh, Jesus. Gotta stack this under my scripts. Not the best tick charts here, because we don't have enough buffer. It's better than nothing. It's going up. There you go. Synchronize your watches. Huh. Computer's faster than my tablet on the clock. Gee, that doesn't sound trustworthy. The clock on the server. That's weird. Yeah, my tablet's slower than the commuter. Okay, we just went to 41. So, let's see what we can make here. 10 seconds. It'll be 8:30. Okay, let's get a nice rally here. Scalp something out. I'm up a whole $9. You're trading for peanuts. That just ain't right. Okay, well, I'll leave the big tickets for you guys. We're heavy hitters. We trade like 5 standard lots on one trigger pull. $9. Yeah, $9, man. Still money. $9 is $9. Look at that reaction. Look at that spike down right at the bottom of the hour. Look how violent. Damn. That's one pissed off currency, man. I hope it does close down in the next 4 minutes. Next 5 minutes, it'll close really down hard. Right into the bottom of the hour. Okay, here's the 5 minute. I'm going to zoom in. So we breached that window up there. Took out that high. And there's the 5 minute guys. The 5 minute traders. We have to wait for them to pull it back a little bit. So I'd buy at the end of 5 minutes if it's down here. Just like the last 5 minutes. Any 5 minutes down, I'm buying. I think if you're a trend trader on the 5 minute chart, you should buy every pullback. I think if you're, up or down. But look how vicious this is. This pullback. Look at that. Down, 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 down. Of course, that last move here didn't quite make it back to here. But in 5 minutes, or 2.5 more minutes, if it's down here, yeah, definitely buy that. So luckily, I bought down here. I'm actually up on these tickets. And I think this is the argument against the buy stop entry, is putting a buy stop here. And it's like, oh. Or putting a buy stop here, you're like, oh. Better, you should wait here for 2 more minutes to pull the trigger. Lock in this pullback. I could drift up here. The 40-yard line. So I'm trying to hold the 40 there. He's at the 40, the 50. Oh, he broke his leg. Oh, I hate when that happens. Look at that. Look at that spastic tick chart. Get a load of that thing. Woof. I don't know if you're going to have a chance to pull the trigger here. The shallowest pullback. Still got a good 2 minutes, though. That's why I would have bought something there on that smash down, but I'm already in. Yeah, it's very rambunctious. That's one crazy market. So yeah, this is a lot of hours of staring at the market. But it does come down to the 5 minute chart in a way because this is the lowest risk trading. Also, even if you're in on the larger time frame, we still have to go through this cycle where we go below this, for the scalpers thing. We go below there, people are buying in that plunge. And they will cash out here, and we expect the sellers are supposed to come in here, the true trend traders, to the downside. But we see that the 5 minute traders came in this perfect top, become a bottom in time, right? And they are up on that trade. So people are trading this in a larger time frame. And there's people counter trend trading at the same time. And they're both right. And of course, how much money are they right by? So here's 10 seconds left to update this candle. And are we going to get a chance to buy here? If this pulled back. So it's up. If it's up, we're not supposed to buy, basically. So yeah, you could have bought right there. See that baby pullback? Right at the top. So you could have pulled the trigger right there. But I think if you had the limits trailing like this, you would have captured on limits, see? Your 15-minute limits would have filled because it's a 5-minute wick. You definitely would have got filled here on the limits without even having to try. Just keep dropping those limits in. or you bought this spike down. You're watching this thing and you're just like, oh yeah, buying that. Okay, now we're waiting for some follow through the upside. We want to see cut into that. We figure this is where most people are gonna cash out. That's a real ripe, obvious exit. You can't blame them. That's a nice chunk of money. Then the real hardcore bulls are going to want to see it blow through this bottom and just start ripping the face off of every bear for miles around for the next year. So I think this could be the beginning of, from here until the end of the year, just an uptrend. I mean, by the end of the year, we'll be up. If you consider that an uptrend. Okay, big breakaway here. Look at this. Finally going to go challenge this void now. So here we're finally going to make our $37. We'll get some higher quality beer. You just got to stop drinking. You're just drinking too much. Okay, so we're going to let that go. We're going to let her, we're not going to move our profits. We're not going to move our stops. I'm up $10. We got to get this thing done by the top of the hour. I got no time for this. That Burger King girl, I got time for this. Where's my Burger King? Oh boy. Yeah, so we gotta go whoosh. It's like 3 pips. And then, yeah, this week up. Maybe next week start, maybe pullbacks. But then, of course, if you look at some of these charts, historically speaking, you'll see where it went up for 40 weeks. It went down for 40 weeks. You're like, is that even possible? Yeah. Every week it's closing higher or lower for 20 weeks. A half a year of just screaming in one direction. Yes, I think it's going to happen over and over again. The cause is always going to be that big void that just itching to be filled. It just keeps pounding into this void until it's just so saturated out. There's nobody left. Nobody left in that one direction anymore. Okay, so that was kind of like the people. You could see people took profits on that. So here's the contradiction or the paradox is that, every time it makes a new high, you should be selling. Well, if that's true, but then, I think if that's your target, yeah. If that's your trade, you're going to be in the market for 10 minutes. Yeah, that would be your trade on this chart. So there is that, new high. Comes back a little bit, but I think this bigger picture here, because it's a 5-minute chart, we still have all this pressure. The bulls have running sell stops here stacking up, so we could still get a trigger down into this later. That's the other side of the coin. It's a two-way street here. Okay, we're waiting till the top of the hour. Okay, we're coming into my target. $16 so far. Probably make it to $30 by the time I make it to this first cash out. I'll start to unravel this position into that void above. I'll let that thing go tonight. Let it run. So that's it. By 9:30, we should be up into those zones. So that's the extent of it. And the promised land is north. Euro up from now until Trump's going back into office, and then I think it's going to reverse.